What is the process of abiogenesis? Which is to ask, how did matter become life? Furthermore, how did life become conscious? The story of Genesis is remarkably poetic and precedent in light of what we now know about evolution. Evolution theory, which Optimum theory agrees with, argues that life came from inorganic matter, from dirt, and that life is a tree, literally diagrammed as a tree of life, with unique species fruiting from each branch. And our species, the most brilliant of all, the only species capable of transmitting knowledge across generations, the fruit of knowledge. The origin of life has been much discussed, and understandably so. Vitalism was the common belief 3 lifetimes ago. Vitalism included the idea that there was a fundamental difference between organic and inorganic matter. However, this was disproven 2 lifetimes ago through experiments conducted by Frederick Wöhler, and in doing so he jump-started the science of organic chemistry. All life, he discovered, including the human body, was comprised of the same atoms as everything else in the universe. Soon after, Charles Darwin proved his theory of evolution, the common origin of all life. All life descended from single-celled organisms that evolved through survival, trial, and competition. But what came before that? A cell is highly complex, and it seems unlikely that it would simply assemble itself by chance. Even while humanity argued about life's origins, we had trouble even defining it. What even is life? A clear definition is not as easy as it might seem. A jellyfish does not think, and a tree does not have legs to walk around. A bacteria is a single cell, but a human is many. But we say they are all alive. Criteria for life can at times seem ambiguous, and even in 2019, there had been no scientific consensus regarding the definition. One popular definition is that life maintains homeostasis, is comprised of cells, has a life cycle, undergoes metabolism, can grow, adapt to its environment, respond to stimuli, reproduce, and evolve. But what about an animal born incapable of reproduction, like a worker ant or a donkey? Is it still alive? For that matter, a single person cannot reproduce alone. Is a single person alive? What about a virus that cannot metabolize? What about the whiptail lizard, which reproduces asexually and therefore lost the ability to adaptively evolve? We cannot even use DNA as the qualifier for life because we have evidence that previous to DNA, life was based on a more simple molecule called RNA. Biologist Gerard Agers Akerhuis of Wageningen University in the Netherlands has come up with a novel solution that does not ask life to meet a long list of abilities. He writes, "People have focused on facultative properties like breathing or moving, and then say if we combined a few of those properties we are close to having defined life, but there are always exceptions," he continues. "What my idea does is it turns the whole thing completely upside down. I focus on the minimal, absolutely necessary properties, and I don't care about any facultative properties." End quote. Akerhuis instead defines life in terms of a concept he calls an operator. Operators are entities that, as a result of specific self-organization processes, stand out from the surrounding environment. All living things, like humans and hummingbirds, are operators, as well as non-living things, such as atoms and molecules. Within the last few decades, living systems theory developed to define life as a system that interacts with its environment through the flow of information, energy, and matter. Such a general theory would arise out of the ecological and biological sciences and attempt to map general principles for how all living systems work. Instead of examining phenomena by attempting to break things down into components, a general living systems theory explores phenomena in terms of dynamic patterns of the relationships of organisms with their environment. Through simulations, we can observe this dynamic interaction between particle-like operators, environment, and natural laws. These simulated operators are behaving according to simple and standardized rules of attraction and repulsion, and what we can observe is fascinating. We can observe them self-optimizing into complex structures similar to single-celled organisms, and they even compete with each other for the remaining energy particles. This cell-like behavior emerges naturally from the simple rules of the equation. Consider a rock, a simple rock found on the ground. That rock has furthered its existence on that ground for millions of years. That rock was created in magma and will one day turn to dust through weathering and be pushed back into the magma through plate tectonics, and the cycle will repeat. Separate a single atom from that rock, and that atom is in competition for survival with atoms of other kinds. We call this battle between atomic elements a chemical reaction, but from the atom's perspective, it's not unlike survival of the fittest. The atoms most fit for their environment not only survive, they colonize. We find similar atoms such as iron, copper, and gold in vast deposits in the way that trees congregate into forests and humans into cities. If an atom does not optimize, then it will be replaced or converted into an energy system more suitable for the environment. There is no thought conducting this process of optimization, not in the human sense anyway. This process of optimization simply follows naturally from the unified equation. Optimization is inescapable. It even governs our human creations. Consider the phone in your pocket. Phones optimize into new models every year to fill a niche, and if the phone fails to optimize, its product line dies. And phones reproduce by a process as complex as any found in biology. Optimization is so based to reality that Darwinian evolution is itself a product of it. Optimization created the evolution process as a method to accelerate the optimization of DNA-based life. As strange as it sounds, by our broad definition, the rock, the particle, the phone, and perhaps even the universe itself, it is all alive. And this is how it must be for us to understand the origins of complex life, such as ourselves. Because everything that exists, without exception, exists because it has survived, because it has optimized. Now, this might be hard to believe, that humans and in fact all DNA-based life are a subcategory of optimization that includes all observable matter, but imagine how difficult it would have been for our ancestors 3 lifetimes ago to understand that they were related by familial DNA to lobsters and trees and birds and bees. Is it any wonder that the story of Genesis was written in metaphor? How would you even begin to explain something like evolution to the average person before the knowledge of DNA or cell theory? And how could you explain optimization to someone without modeling it computationally? The law of optimization simply moves the window back further. Not only are we related to all DNA-based life, we are related to all energy matter. Full stop. You see, we really did come from dirt. We really did come from Adam. The atom was breathed to life